Hello back again. My name is Fumilaya Fatubero. Welcome back to my channel. As you know by now, I talk about everything that has to do with travel. And today I'm going to be talking about not like teaching you per se, more like a story time. I'm going to tell you a real life experience, what happened to me. And if I almost got tricked or almost got scammed, it means that it can happen to anyone. So if you're new to this channel, if this is the first time you're seeing me, I'm so excited to have you here. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always tuning in. I see your views, I see your comments, and that keeps me going. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right. Okay, so to my story, it's something that happened to me at the US Embassy. So I haven't been to the US Embassy in a long time. So once you get the first interview and you get a visa approval, after that, you just need to drop off your passport. It might be the embassy and it might be a DHL office for something called interview waiver, which we popularly call Dropbox in Nigeria. I'm sure you would have heard that. So the last time I was at the embassy, I think was 2007. Since then, I've been doing a Dropbox. So I wasn't familiar with everything there anymore, but of course I still remember that you have a lot of touts around there, you have a lot of agents. And you know, this my show, I always say that I talk to you about everything that has to do with travel so that you won't end up with an agent, you can do it all by yourself. Now, I tried to renew my US visa sometimes last year, and I got caught up in the migration issue and all, trying to migrate from one website to the other, and they couldn't find my details. There was a lot of back and forth and emailing the embassy, going back and forth. So after that, I got a mail from the embassy. Okay, the story was that they said they didn't have any of my data. The US consulate didn't have any of my data. So to them, it was like I had never been to the US. And that was like, wow, this is crazy. This is what's going on here. And I got on the I-94 myself. I tried to look for my data. And every time I put in my details, it just kept telling me no data found. That's what was popping up. So after back and forth, mailing the embassy, this and that, I got a mail saying, come for an interview at the embassy. Remember, I said I hadn't been inside the embassy in a long time. Usually, I just drop off my passport at DHL Muriokola for my Dropbox, and I get it 5 days after with my passport and with my visa in it. So for this, I had to travel. I don't stay in Lagos, so I had to travel out of town to go into Lagos and do all of that. Now, I got there, and you know, we found a parking spot, and I got out of the car. And immediately I got out of the car, the first person that came up to me just said, oh, do you have your passport photograph stapled to your documents? And I'm like, no, you can't staple your passport. He said, no. I don't mean your passport. I mean on your forms and everything. I said, I have it uploaded. Why would I do that? So the guy just kept following me. And I said, oh, I need your stapler though. How much would you charge me to use your stapler? So from the top of my head, I'm like, okay. They get greedy sometimes, so you might ask for maybe 500 or 1,000 maximum. And this guy said to me 1,500. That was interesting. I was like, 1,500 for what? So as I was like, you know what? Don't worry about your stapler. I don't need it. So he now said, wait, oh, madam, this your GT. Now, backstory again. After the migration, the US Embassy stopped using GTB as their collection bank. They started using First Bank. So for me, I had GT because I paid way before the migration. And the guy said, oh, you paid through GT? I said, yes. He said, the GT form that you have printed is the wrong one. I'm like, what do you mean the wrong one? He said the transaction fee form that you have. Did you print it online when you made payment? I said, yes. When I made payment, what I did was I just generated my receipt and I got it printed out. And he said, they won't take that. That you have to go online. And I know that GT can be funny like that. So you have a different outlook for what you generate when you go on the website. Maybe you use a laptop, and from what you generate when you use a mobile device. So When the guy said that to me, I was confused. I was like, okay, what does that mean? He said, oh, they're not going to take this. And I know that I need my transaction fee receipts to be able to get into the embassy. So I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? This is me that I talk to you people about travel. I was given one tout. So to use tout might sound a little harsh because he was actually well dressed. But you know, all those agents that roam around, so I'm still going to call him tout. So, yes, so this is me stopping to have a conversation with him. And he got me talking. So I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? I was asking him. And this guy was like, oh, they wouldn't let you in. You should have this. So he was like, oh, come to our shop, come and see. So he was taking me. I'm like, no, 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 I don't want to go to your store. It seems far off. He said, no, no, it's just here. So I went with him and we got there. And there were a couple of people there. So he showed me one of them that had the GT. Of course, I recognized that because it was like the one I used then. And the first time I got my visa, it was still UBA, that was the collection bank. But, you know, from over time using GT, I recognized that from printing from my laptop when I do it online. So I was like, okay, yes, you're right. I did print this from my mobile device when I did the, you know, through the app. I didn't do the proper login in. And the guy said, oh, they won't take it. I'm like, okay. He said, so you need to log in into your GT, you know, app, no, not the app. You need to log in online and then you go to the transaction and you print a proper receipt. Okay, so that didn't seem bad. So I'm like, okay, so how much is this going to cost me? Now, this is me that I had my forms and my children's forms. So I was going to print for 3 of us. So he said, oh, it's going to cost me 15,000 naira per copy. That's when I looked at him like, I don't understand. 15, like you're telling me one sheet will be 15,000 naira. He said, yes. So I was like, okay, so that means the 3 of us, am I getting any discount? He said, no, 45,000. I said, you know what? No, I'm going to go in. He said, madam, come, if you go in, they're going to turn you back and then they're going to write TB on your form. I was like, okay, what is TB? He said, turn back. And once they write that on your form, you can't present the form again. I'm like, no, let me get there. Once they turn me back, I will come back and print from you. Give me your phone number. He said, no, once they turn me back, that means I forfeited the appointment for that date. I need to go and get another date. I know how difficult it is to get a date for the US Embassy. Some people are still struggling to get a date for 2026 as I speak to you now. So I'm like, okay. And the embassy just emailed me saying, come on this date. So it was like, wow, I hit the jackpot getting a date. Didn't have to wait. Because I actually had a date for my Dropbox, which was supposed to be sometimes in October last year. But upon getting to the OIS, they couldn't find my details. According to them, I'd never been to the US. So why would I even qualify for a Dropbox? And, you know, we went through all those back and forth before I ended up at the embassy, like I said. So this guy was so convincing. Honestly, maybe if this guy had said it was like 1,500 or 2,000 to print a copy, I would have fallen for a scam. But you know, 15,000, that was outrageous. You know, I don't know why they get so greedy. And I was just like, 15,000, I just thought about it, 45,000. You know, when they say it in Yoruba, I'm Yoruba, you just say, oh, what you only thank you. Why would I give you 45,000 to print? If I was going to buy a printer, I'm going to say, how much is the printer? So I said, you know, I was, you know, struggling and I was just, Holy Spirit, tell me what to do. And, you know, I just looked at the guy, he said, you know what? If they turn me back, let them turn me back. I know that I've done it because I was just thinking, me that I'm always telling people to be aware of these agents and touts when you're around the embassy and they want to play me street. I'm like, no, that won't work. So I went ahead and I told the guy, you know what? I'll just go in, I'll take my chances. Let them write TB, it's fine. And then getting in, you know, I went through the barbed wire where you have the uniformed men guarding. And I saw that the people that I saw there that had GT and not First Bank had the one for the website. I I was like, Holy Spirit, you told me to go ahead. This had to work. And when I got to the person checking the document, that was the first one I gave the person. And the person just wrote on it. I'm like, okay. So I said, so this is fine. She said, yes. Didn't you pay with it? Or I was like, yes, I did. So I just brought out the remaining ones for my children. And, she just appended a signature on it. And somebody else that was beside me, the guy had loads of paper on him. And he said, oh, and they were like, oh, you don't need all of this. Why did you come with all of this? The guy said, oh, the agents out there, tout, they told him that, oh, he needs to do five copies of each. I don't even want to know how much that guy would have paid. So my story, or the moral of my story today is, in as much as I always come on here and say I'm talking about travel, don't get played, don't use an agent, try to do it yourself, be smart. I almost got played too. So it shows you how convincing those people can be. This is me that I'm well traveled. I've been to how many countries? I don't know how many embassies I've been to. And I almost fell for that just because I'd not been to the US embassy in a long time. So I know that it can happen to anybody, which is why I'm doing this story. So if you go to the embassy, and you have any agent or anybody telling you out there, or you have the wrong documentation, or this passport photograph won't work, or this is not what you need, I'll just say, take it from me, get in there first. They might delay you a minute having you go back and, maybe take a new passport photograph, but nobody's going to turn you back for that. If you're there already and you're still within your time frame, my appointment was for 8:30 in the morning. I left Ibadan like 5. I got there like some few minutes to 8. And all this back and forth with the guy was like maybe 8:30. And I still went ahead, But of course, I didn't even have my interview for that day. So, but that story for another day. My story right now is that when you go to any embassy, it doesn't have to be the US embassy. It might be any of the Schengen countries. It might be the UK. Anywhere you have embassies, this is Nigeria, you have a lot of touts and agents or so-called agents loitering around, and, they might mislead you. I said they wanted to scam me. So yes, they might scam you because that is somebody ripping me of my hard-earned money. Imagine if I'd given him 45,000 naira to go and print 3 sheets of paper that I did not even need. I don't know how people do that. No fear of God at all, no conscience. So you can just imagine that you now need them, or you're appearing desperate. This is me that, confident because I know my onions from my suya, and I almost got played. So please be aware. Beware when you go to any embassy, any consulate whatsoever. Make sure you don't listen to the agent or the tout out there. If you want the correct information, proceed and get into the embassy. And if they're using any collection office, the VFS, the TLS, make sure you get in there first, before you take information or instructions from anybody. That will be all from me today. Till the next time I see you, if you've learned something from this video, or you have, experienced something close, you can leave it in the comment section, share with somebody. If you know somebody that you think that they might need this video, please share with them. Give this video a thumbs up. And like I said earlier, subscribe to my channel. That will be all from me today. Till next time, take care and have a good day.